Here's a fly ball out towards center field. This one's going back, and this one is gone! Taylor gets this one out towards center field to the short part, and it's a grand slam! That's a floater, out to short. And it's good, off the shortstop's glove! Just like they drew it from Hollywood. Caladros, the 3-2. Swing and a miss! And the Audubon Green Wave have upset the Kingsway Dragons! Grant Fournier, 2-run shot to right.
We welcome you to Rancocas Valley High School for a matchup between the Schalick. Rancocas Valley High School for a matchup between the Schalick Cougars, the Rancocas Valley Red Devils. The freshman right-hander Chase Logue is the starter today for Rancocas Valley, as RV, after some tough Olympic Conference losses, now look to rebound as they go into this one at 4-4 for this Friday morning spring break matchup against an undefeated Schalick team who has defied a lot of odds this year. They're not starting Penn commit Luke Pokrovsky, but instead they're going with Lucas D'Agostino, the senior. Both pitchers coming into today with a sub-2 ERA, and it should be a very fun matchup for both teams. Let's flip it over to the main board as we get ourselves ready for game one of today's doubleheader. Not a doubleheader here in RV, but a doubleheader on DWB. We've got Stockton and Rutgers-Camden over at Rutgers-Camden at 3:30. So as we get ready to go, Chase Logue, let's flip up the Rancocas Valley pitcher stat and figure out how he's going to do today. He's only pitched a handful of innings, but with a sub-2 ERA, the freshman making his second start with the Red Devils, he will be facing a very eager Schalick team who, as we mentioned in the open, in the very brief open, are coming into this one at 5-0. Leadoff man for Schalick is Evan Seepers, the left fielder. And the first pitch from Logue is poked out towards left field, taken in for out number one. One pitch, one out, and we're underway in East Hampton. Seepers flies out to the left fielder, Joey Sprague. Now here is Luke Pokrovsky, right-handed in the batter's box, left-handed on the mound. Again, as we mentioned before, a left-hander committed to Penn as Pokrovsky launches a ball out to the deep center field. It is gone! Luke Pokrovsky says hello to the visitors as he's got himself a solo shot to center field over one of the deepest ballparks in South Jersey. He's put his name on the board, and he's put the Cougars on the board. 1-0. Well, I was talking with some folks today, and I said it's unlikely we see a lot of long balls today, and, well, proved us wrong on the second pitch of the game. Takes the freshman Chase Logue deep, 1-0. Didn't even have time to write that down on my scorecard. Hey, let's take a look at what Schalick's got in their starting lineup today, brought to you by Harper Driving School. You just saw Evan Seepers and Luke Pokrovsky. Ricky Watt is the catcher, batting in the third spot. Enrico Hatz is the first baseman, batting cleanup. D'Agostino batting fifth. And you've got Whitley at third, Jackson Tyler Fleming in right field, Evan Glaspie at second, and Elijah Cummings at short. So Seepers with a fly out to left, Pokrovsky with a first pitch home run to center field. And it's 1-0 Schalick. This ball's hit well out towards right, but it'll stay in the ballpark. Headed over towards the line. It's dropped by Alvarez. He's going down to second base. They're going to say to Haverstick's coming out. He's going to get all the way. He's going to hold at second. Haverstick's coming out because he's saying it was a foul ball, and the umpire's signaling wasn't clear. That looked like a foul ball to me. So they will have the call stand as a fair ball. It was hard to tell down the line there, but Schalick putting up an impressive number early with now a double by Watt. Here's the first baseman, Enrico Hatz. Fourth man of the inning, only one out in the top of the first. As the senior pitcher, D'Agostino, is on deck. Down, 1-0. One ball, no strikes to Hatz. And the pitch from Logue. Check swing, he crossed the plane, and it's 1-1. So Schalick coming into this game 5-0, 4-0 leading their Tri-County Diamond Division. Had to travel quite a bit to get here, kind of at the upper tip of South Jersey. I mean, Rancocas Valley and Mount Holly is almost where I draw the line between South Jersey and Central Jersey. The honest answer is that Trenton and Bordentown is where I really separate South Jersey and Central Jersey, but either way. One ball, two strikes. Logue delivers, down and away. Under coach Sean O'Brien, started out the year, in fact, 4 of their 5 wins have been via the Mercy Rule. They beat Glassboro 12-2 on opening day, 11-0 over a very talented Woodstown team, 18-1 over Clayton, and 3-2 to Overbrook. Not to mention the fact that 2 of those wins were on the road, and they've got, well, 5 road games in a row starting today and leading into next Thursday. This one's hit well out towards right by Hatz. It's going to split down the line, and it's a foul ball. It's still 2-2. They play Cherry Hill West in the first round of the William Rohrer tournament at Haddon Township tomorrow. That's a tournament I wish I was there for. We'll be at RCSJ, though, for coverage between the nationally ranked Brookdale Jersey Blues and the RCSJ Roadrunners, number 1 national versus number 5 national. As Logue, the freshman, looks to shake off some early jitters in his second career start after giving up a shot to Pokrovsky. Here's the 2-2. He got him. No, foul tip. Foul tip just went off the bat of Hatz, and by the skin of his teeth, he stays alive. Yeah, the only game this year for Schalick that hasn't been a Mercy Rule win was Overbrook, a very scrappy team, a very good team. 3-2 was the final back last Thursday, the 10th. Here's the 2-2. This one's hit well out to right center field. This could stay up there for Alvarez. It will. Hatz will fly out, tagging the third. Throw is not in time. He moves the runner over for out number 2. And here is the pitcher, Logan D'Agostino. D'Agostino, a 4-year varsity athlete for Schalick. Also a participant in boys soccer. Had 15 at-bats as a freshman, 62 as a sophomore. His best season was last year, a .260 average. 2 extra base hits, 12 walks, 20 for 77 with a .286 slugging percentage. First pitch from Logue, high and away, 1-0. This year, though, 4 for 13, 5 RBIs, already matched his total as a sophomore. .308 average, .538 slugging. And the 1-0. Swung on and missed at a fastball away. First 3 for Rancocas Valley in the bottom half of the first will be the Rowan commit, Jake Bartletta, the sophomore right fielder, Jalen Alvarez, and the junior DH, Connor Whittall. Here's the pitch. This one is smacked out to center field as D'Agostino will fly out to Bartletta, and the inning is over. Luke Pokrovsky sets the tone with a solo home run to center field. However, they keep Schalick off the board and keep a runner at bay at third. We'll be right back in the bottom half of the first. RV will get their first swings at the dish right after this. Welcome back to DWB here in the bottom of the first. Let's take a look at what Rancocas Valley is cooking with in the bottom half of the first inning. Your starting lineup brought to you by Harper Driving School. Jake Bartletta, the commit to nationally ranked D3 program Rowan, bats leadoff. Jalen Alvarez, the sophomore, in right field. Connor Whittall, the DH, hitting for the pitcher Chase Logue. Carter Klezix, the first baseman, bats fourth. Liam Young takes the hot corner at third. Henry Adams, who was our starter last time we were at RV on April 4th, he bats sixth, playing shortstop. Sprague will be in left field batting fourth. That'll be followed up by Dom Gomez at second, and Malcolm Harrison is the catcher for today's game. So a little bit of a couple changes there in the order, but let's take a look at what Schalick's got to offer. They will not have Luke Pokrovsky on the hill. Instead, they've got Lucas D'Agostino, 1.17 ERA in 6 innings this year with 15 strikeouts. He's gotten a handful of work in a 1-2 tandem with Luke Pokrovsky, but those two have been a big part of why Schalick is where they are right now with defeated teams left in South Jersey. There's still a good amount of teams left undefeated after, almost 3 weeks of play. He just missed that one, hit off of his knee pad on his right knee. It's 1-0 to Bartletta. Of course, Rowan University was there last night for a wonderful event at the Chamberlain Student Center. Saw a great new band, Turtles in Plaid, wearing their t-shirt. They've got, I think it's like 50 monthly listeners on Spotify. So it's not paid, but you just gotta keep on listening to them. They are absolutely wonderful. Count is 2-1 to Bartletta. Bartletta, Alvarez, and Whittall, first three for the Red Devils, led by Dan Haverstick, as that one is poked in the right field down the line. That'll be a base hit for Bartletta. He is on his horse to second base. He overslides the bag, and he is safe on the dive back. That's the one time we're taking it 110% was too much. He overslid the bag, was able to dive back in safely, and avoided a very, very nearly had a bad situation there. Here's Alvarez, a left-hander. Seen him a handful of times with the Red Devils. First pitch from D'Agostino, late on the fastball, 0-1. 348 average for Alvarez, 3 RBIs, 8 for 23, 478 slugging percentage. Had 2 homers and a 338 average as a freshman with a very competitive Red Devils team. Popped up left side, out towards third. This is going to be caught. Very good play over the shoulder by Elijah Cummings, and that's out number 1. That's one of those unlucky plays, like right there. I mean, if you don't have Cummings at shortstop, or if you don't have somebody of his caliber out there, there's probably not a great chance that that ball stays in the air. So the fact that he was out there, that's not an at-bat where Alvarez should hang his head low. I mean, that was a very good at-bat. Got some good pitches, got some good looks, and now he'll be ready for the second time that he sees D'Agostino. Whittall takes low. Seepers was the first batter of the ball game, flew out to left. Pokrovsky homered to center. Watt doubled. Hatz flew out to right, and then D'Agostino left him there. That is laced foul into the woods of Burlington County. Any deeper into the woods, and the ball shall not return. Left to the pack of animals. 2 balls, 1 strike. That one's hit well, out to left field. The wind is at our backs today, so we could see some more power in the bats, but what I've noticed is that everybody seems to be barreling something. I mean, Whittall flew out to left there, but Seepers on the first pitch. Every ball that's hit today feels like it's just got a good ring to it. There's just some days where it feels like the bats are dead and things aren't really, jiving in terms of offense. But today, everybody's swinging like there's no tomorrow. You know, we're swinging just like it's a summer day in the middle of July. Like, things are just feeling a little bit different today here in East Hampton, if I say so myself. Carter Klesix, the first baseman in the cleanup spot, takes a strike, 0-2. 2 outs, 1-0 Cougars over the Red Devils. Tapped out towards the pitcher's mound. That will actually go to first. Hatz will bobble it, and Klesix is safe. And Liam Young will now bat with the inning stayed alive. That'll be an E3 on Enrico Hatz. Just a convoluted play from start to finish. It looked like the pitcher D'Agostino was going to be there, then he backed off, and then Hatz kind of made an awkward turn and then ended up bobbling the ball, and because D'Agostino was kind of called off. I mean, communication is key in the infield, especially with a Group 1 program. These guys are working together almost every day, and it's going to be very important for these guys going forward that they find a way to have that kind of sound communication in the infield. That one will miss, 1-0 outside. Trying to shoot through the fence here at Mill Creek Park. It's a little bit difficult to get the pitcher and batter in the same view, right? Outside again, 2-0. Takes outside, did not go. 3-0. Got the green light that time. Schalick will bat 6, 7, and 8 in the top half of the second inning. As a good rebound here by D'Agostino. Was down in the count 3-0, has now gotten a called strike and a swinging strike. Count is 3-2. Ready to go. Runners on the corners for RV after the error at first base. Runner goes. Now he's going to step off. They're going to do the old classic play. We've got a jar of dill pickles in the middle of the infield, and he got him. Got the runner at third. They went for the classic steal and score, but instead, Schalick keeps their wits with him, and the inning is over. Schalick leads 1-0 going to the top of the second here at Rancocas Valley. Here at Rancocas Valley, not at Rancocas Valley High School, we're instead at the sports complex on Mill Creek Road in East Hampton in the nice, more rural areas of Burlington County. Although I do really like this campus. We came here on April 4th in a tight game over Cherry Hill East that RV won. And this is why I picked up the game, is because it's a very good matchup in hindsight. You'd think Schalick Group 1, Rancocas Valley RV, why would it work? Well, think about it this way. Schalick is a very determined team. They know that this is their year to win, and they know that this is their year to compete. Pop up down the first base line. Young with a basket catch. Did he come up with it? Yes, he did. However, Liam Young is down after crashing into the fence at first base. I think people are just starting to realize now that he made the catch. The umpire signaled out. I don't think anybody saw it. Yeah, I was surprised. The umpire put up his left fist, said the batter was out, and I'm like, I didn't hear anything. I felt like a fool for a second, but Liam Young makes the catch. Dan Haverstick at first base making sure that he's okay. So Carter Klezix, excuse me, that name slipped my mind there, makes the catch. Give credit where credit's due. I'm sure there will be a CVS trip for ibuprofen tomorrow morning, but for now, he remains in the game at first base after a very valiant catch to retire the first batter. 1-0 is the count. Another pop-up, back behind the plate, and Harrison comes down with it for out number 2. What I really like about RV is their defense. Defense won them the game versus Cherry Hill East a couple of weeks ago. And that's what makes RV such a sound team, is that if they can get the bats going in games like these, I mean, they had back-to-back games in Olympic play where they lost 11-1. If they are able to get the bats going in tone with a sound defense, that's a winning program. That's a winning, and I'm not saying they're not a winning program. They're 4-4 right now. But considering that they were runner-ups in South Jersey Group 4 just 2 years ago to Eastern, there's a lot to be said about RV and their potential. There's a lot of potential here. But there's a difference between potential and exercised potential. Because if you're just a team that has potential and doesn't have the results, well, that doesn't mean anything. Potential doesn't go down in the scorebook. Results go down in the scorebook. So Whitley and Fleming retired. Here is Evan Glaspie. Logue steps off. 2-1. That one's popped up. Liam Young almost crashed into the fence like Carter Klezix does. And that is a foul ball. 2-2. Schalick 1, RV 0. Here in the top of the second inning. 2-2, 2 outs, outside. Just off the corner there. Fouled straight back and onto the JV field. Oh, time got called there. That's a Zach Greinke pitch right there. What we call the old 1950s floater. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Base is clear for Schalick, and a check swing makes contact and keeps the at-bat alive. Sometimes it's those inadvertent plays that end up really working out. I mean, he didn't go all the way around, but he still made contact. If he didn't make contact, that would have been strike 3. And that time, He does not. Inning over. So a couple of great defensive plays, including one from Carter Klezix with a crash into the fence. We go to the bottom of the second inning. After 1.5 here in East Hampton, Schalick 1, RV 0. Liam Young is the batter in the bottom half of the second. If you remember, Young started his at-bat, but because the runner was thrown out at third, he gets to restart his at-bat. One of the weirder baseball rules. First pitch is a ball, 1-0. This broadcast is brought to you by Harper Driving School. Over 90% of students who take their New Jersey State driving test with Harper pass on the first attempt. If you like those odds, you can book an appointment today at Suite 4 of the Total Turf Complex in Pittman on 614 Lambs Road. 2 balls, no strikes to Young. Young, Adams, and Sprague the fourth. The 3 batters for RV in the bottom half of the second, looking for their first run. Outside that time, 3-0. And strike. So D'Agostino working back into it. Pretty full crowd on hand here with their lawn chairs. This one's fouled back. And into the shrubbery. And again, D'Agostino had this at bat before, where he started off 3-0, worked his way back to 3-2, and now it'll be a battle. Payoff. From the senior right-hander, a swing and a miss. Young down on strikes. That's out number 1, and that'll bring up Adams. First strikeout of the day for D'Agostino. It'll be Henry Adams now, the shortstop. Adams takes a strike. By the way, an out-of-town score update in Pennsville. Haddon Heights leads the Eagles of Pennsville 6-3 in the bottom of the third. Handful of home runs, including Chase Birchfield for Pennsville and Jackson Mata for Haddon Heights. Not too many games being played right now, but there's a bunt. That is a beauty right in front of the mound. D'Agostino, though, throws to first, and it's in time. Out number 2. I mean, if Schalick can keep a sound defense and keep the errors down, I think that they've got a very good chance of staying in this ball game, you know, for the foreseeable future. Again, it's the bottom of the second inning. Things can change left to right. Things can change up and down. Things can change from batter to batter. But here's the lefty, Sprague. That first pitch is lifted down the line, should get out of play, and it will, just in front of the third baseman. Joseph Tyler Whitley. Joseph Sprague, the fourth, the sophomore. Only one at-bat for him going into this game, which was against Hopewell Valley back on Monday. Scored a run and recorded a walk and an RBI in a 4-3 win over the Bulldogs in Central Jersey. That one was in, 1-1. Sprague also has 2 innings on the mound as a sophomore this year in his first varsity season. Inside, 2-1. I'll tell you this, Blue behind the plate has been calling the zone very letter of the law-like. I very much like it. Makes the zone a little bit tighter, but it at least gives the hitters a good expectation of what's going to be called. 2-2. Guess I kind of jinxed myself there. Count is 2-2. With 2 outs, bases empty for the Red Devils. DiAgostino up above the letters, 3-2. Dom Gomez, the second baseman, will be the 8th hitter for RV. He bats next if the inning continues. Schalick will have 9, 1, and 2 in the third, as that's going to be ball 4. Sprague picks up a free pass. And here's Gomez. Gomez, the senior second baseman, batting .316 in his Swan Song campaign, 6 for 19. 2 RBIs. Batted .167 as a junior, so he's definitely turned it around. Had a multi-hit performance on April 2nd in a 10-9 loss to Eastern. Strike called, 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. DiAgostino delivers. Ground ball over the middle. That will be an easy tag on the second base bag to end the inning. Schalick with 2 scoreless here in RV. DiAgostino is rocking and rolling. We go to the top half of the third inning here at East Hampton. Schalick 1, RV 0. All right. Top of the third, first pitch is a ground ball to third base. Throw across is in time. 1 pitch, 1 out. Here is now number 1 hitter for Schalick as we turn the lineup card back over to the top for Evan Seepers. Seepers flew out to left on the first pitch his last time. And then RV will have 9, 1, and 2. in the bottom half of the third. And of course, the threat looms of Luke Pokrovsky in the on-deck circle, who homered to right center field. Estimated home run distance of 418 feet out to right center. Second longest home run hit on DWB this year, powered by Google Analytics. 0-1, way up and high. 1-1. By the way, if you're curious about the longest, give that to RJ Mestero of RCSJ Gloucester. Hit one 427. That's also a D1 Monmouth commit. And Pokrovsky's D1 too. Headed to Penn, play some Ivy League ball, or as I like to call it, nerd ball. Over there just across the bridge in Philadelphia. I mean, the Quakers have a beautiful stadium right on the Schuylkill River, right next to the highway. Swing and a miss. A little bit of happy feet on the swing, and Seepers now 2-2 in the count. Two balls, two strikes, and outside. Seepers and then Pokrovsky to be followed by the catcher Ricky Watt, the sophomore. A lot of young talent on both of these teams. That one's fouled back. Look out below. Still 3-2 now. I mean, even with Schalick only having a one-run lead, they have been working Logue to the bone, and as a freshman pitcher, that's not easy to overcome. Here's the 3-2. High and outside, ball four, and Seepers gives Pokrovsky an extra base runner to work with one away. So here's Pokrovsky. Hit a dead shot to right center his first time. I was trying to say dead center, and then I realized that he didn't really hit it to dead center, hit it to right center, so that's where dead shot came from. That ball was nothing but dead. Went out to right center and gave Schalick the only run of the game to point thus far. Another pop-up. Got some wood under it, and now that one will go out of play into the bullpen. 0-1. Don't forget, later on today, we have Stockton and Rutgers Camden in NJAC play. 3:30 is the first pitch from the Camden Athletic Complex. And then on Saturday, we'll be on the air via the Roadrunner Network on rcroadrunners.com for a nationally ranked JUCO baseball matchup between the Brookdale Jersey Blues and the RCSJ Roadrunners. First pitch for Game 1 at 12, scheduled first pitch of Game 2 at 3. That one is up and in, 1-1. And then the week ahead on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting on Monday, April 21st, I believe we are off that day. Tuesday the 22nd, we've got a night game with the Centenary Cyclones and the Rutgers Camden Scarlet Raptors. Strike call. 1-2. April 23rd, we'll have a double header. Actually, I'm sorry, just a standalone game. We will be live on the Roadrunner Network, but that is not a part of Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. 1-2. That one's hit well out to left field by Pokrovsky, and it is caught in left. Out number 2 as the crowd fell silent for a second, knowing what he did in the first inning, but he was able to keep that ball steadily in the yard, and that's out number 2. It's Ricky Watt. Doubled down the left field line. Actually, it was out to right center, I apologize, in the top half of the first inning. Looked like Schalick was going to have more of an offensive outburst, but they left the runner on third in the first. Wednesday, April 23rd, we will have a colonial matchup between the Haddon Township Hawks and the Gloucester Lions. Two teams looking to find a more permanent footing in the 2025 season. That one is smoked out to right center field. That will drop in front of Alvarez. They're going to send the runner and hold him there, actually. Runners on first and second. So Seepers gets into scoring position, and a 2-out knock for Watt keeps the at-bat alive for Enrico Hatz. Hatz, the senior, who has gone back and forth between a catcher and a first baseman. already batting .500 on the season, 8 for 16, all singles, 4 RBIs, 1 walk and 1 stolen base. Batted .359 as a junior, 28 for 78, including 14 walks and 12 RBIs. He's at 59 career hits, including 7 as a freshman, 16 as a sophomore, 28 as a junior, and at this point in time, 8 as a senior. 0-1 from Logue. That's hit well. Straight away, though. Alvarez bobbles it, can't find it. Popped right out of his glove. Schalick will get 1 home. Runner goes to third. That will be a 2-base error as Alvarez has trouble with the ball in right, and it's 2-0 Cougars. Just an unfortunate situation there. Looked like that ball was catchable, maybe had some trouble gripping it. Try to make a little bit of an underhanded catch instead of using that backhand, although that was more reliable than using the backhand in that situation. Did everything that he could, but just couldn't get everything to fall in the right place, and that'll be a 2-base error. First against RV today, second total error. Each team has 1. There is a strike. So Seepers came around to score, Watt to third, and Hatz now on second. Surprised they're not going with a courtesy runner for Watt Watt at third with 2 outs. As is usual in high school, that one's going to skip away. Coach O'Brien will hold his man at third without issue. As we said, though, April 23rd, 11 a.m. start between Haddon Township and Gloucester. Have to work around the schedule because high school spring break is not at the same time as college spring break, so I have to finagle my way into getting some of my days free. But count is 1-1. Logue delivers. Gets one high and away and pulls it to right. Alvarez is there, and he makes the catch. Side retired. Schalick gets a run home on an error in right off the bat of Enrico Hatz. RV will look to get the bats going with just a handful of base runners on the board. It's Schalick 2, RV 0, going to the bottom of the third. Bottom of the third, Rancocas Valley fans, make sure to participate in the Dan Wilkins Broadcasting fan vote for Thursday, April 24th on our Instagram at DW Broadcasting. You have until midnight tonight to vote for Shawnee at Rancocas Valley. The other team you're going against is Gloucester Catholic versus Washington Township. And if I were RV, well, Washington Township and Gloucester Catholic is winning the vote 62% to 38%. So you should get on Instagram, DW Broadcasting. Make your voice heard. Over 300 people have already voted, so make sure that you send it to your friends. And follow us on Instagram at DW Broadcasting, along with our Twitter/X account at, again, DW Broadcasting. Malcolm Harrison is the batter to lead off the bottom of the third here at RV. Harrison, Bartletta, and Alvarez. Harrison gets a piece of it, and it'll go out of play into the practice netting down there. And it's going to be important because Thursday's game will be our, barring any schedule changes and barring any rain dates, that one's popped up, it'll go foul, will be our 500th broadcast. So I started Dan Wilkins Broadcasting as a sophomore in high school in 2021. I had a $80 camera off of Amazon where all of the instructions were in a foreign language. I didn't understand any of it, but I connected the cords together. The table that we still use is the exact same one from 2021. Some of the equipment is the same that we've had for the past 4 years. Like I said, I started as a sophomore in high school. Now I'm a freshman in college, just about ready to get done my first year. So, I just started out doing Audubon games. Never did I think that our brand would expand this far. We covered Absegami on Tuesday for the first time. That made them the 106th high school in New Jersey to get coverage. By the way, that was a swing and a miss. Harrison down on strikes, out number one. Bring us back to the top of the order for Bartletta. But I think we're either just hit or we're nearing 3,200 subscribers on YouTube. So I know just 2 years ago we were under 1,000. So the support is greatly appreciated. Like I said, a lot of these games I don't get paid for. The money that we get goes through advertisers and paid gigs that we have in the summer and the winter with youth sports and summer leagues, whatnot. So we do have a Venmo at DW Broadcasting. It is not required by any means. I'm not trying to be a beggar here, but like I said, college is expensive. As Bartletta lines that one out to center field, and that is out number 2. So now here's Alvarez. But yeah, if you want our schedule, we send a schedule every week on Sundays or Mondays at DW Broadcasting on Twitter and Instagram, and then we do have a Venmo in the description of this YouTube video at DW Broadcasting. DW Broadcasting, no spaces and no hyphens. Your support is greatly appreciated, and we're glad to be covering South Jersey athletics right in the backyards of these high schools and universities. 1-0 to Jalen Alvarez. Alvarez got an unlucky cue shot to short his first time. He's 0 for 1 on the day. DiAgostino still working. 1-0 right down the pipe. 1-1. So yeah, Thursday, that day game will be our 500th, and then guess what? 501 will be right after with Seneca and PVI. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Up high, went through the glove of Watt, and it's 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the third inning here in East Hampton. 2-2. Another one fouled back. Strike 3. That was the most emphatic strike 3 call I have ever seen, and the inning is over. Schalick had one in the top half of the third, and the inning is over. That was a karate chop. We go to the fourth, 2-0, Schalick. Top of the fourth inning. We do have good news. After this weekend, what is now the empty top of the fourth inning will come back with trivia time. It's been a staple of Dan Wilkins Broadcasting Baseball since the beginning that we have had some technical issues with, but we are finally getting the framework in place to get live voting done on trivia time, as that one is a strike called to start the top half of the fourth inning with Whitley. Trouble getting the ball back to the pitcher, and then trouble getting the ball fielded in the infield after the ball went over the pitcher's head. Whitley popped out to first, his first at-bat. Hot shot out to short. Diving stop, gets through into center field. That's a base hit for Whitley. And Jamari Whitley gets himself a base hit. So here is Fleming. Joseph Tyler Fleming, the utility man. Career .303 hitter. 300 this year, 3 for 10, but also batted .342 as a sophomore. 26 for 76, 4 extra base hits, 6 walks, and 12 stolen bases. Changeup gets him the zone, 0-1. But Schalick will have a very busy road ahead. This is the first of 5 road games in a row. They won't be home again until May 5th, which I don't know if I've ever seen a team, they did call that a swing, 0-2. I don't think I've seen a team on the road for this long. Their last game was on April 14th, last Monday, and then they won't be home again until May 5th. I mean, the majority of their games are being played on the road this year, so it's just an interesting observation. Runner goes, throw from Harrison is not in time. Throw looked like it was on the money, but Schalick picks up the stolen base. Very bang-bang call at second base. Didn't get a great angle of it on my end, but it's 1-2. Fleming will be followed by the second baseman, Evan Glaspie. 1 ball, 2 strikes. No action yet for either team in their bullpen here in the fourth inning. Tipped foul just over our heads. And for Schalick's 5-game road trip, 2 of those games will be played tomorrow. So 3 games in 24 hours, really, with Cherry Hill West in the first round of the William Rohrer tournament. They'll be playing Haddon Township in the second round, or I should say, they'll be playing Haddon Township in the first round of that tournament. Look out. That's to our left. And it leaves a divot in the grass. 1-2. So they'll be playing Cherry Hill West and Haddon Township. Then they'll be on the road at Pittman on the 22nd, as in Tuesday. On the road at Glassboro on the 24th. And then, as we said, Overbrook is their next home game on the 5th. We're going to try to pick up that May 6th game for Schalick versus Woodstown. That's at Elmer Little League. Got a good crowd on hand in person and also in the internet world, as there's a strike 3 called to Fleming. That's the second strikeout for Logue today, out number 1 for Glaspie now. Is here a donkey? Tell you, baseball players make the weirdest noises. That's a fly ball. Shallow. Gomez over his shoulder. It's going to drop in front of Alvarez. Now the runner's going to get down to second. How about that? A delayed start by Jamari Whitley. And Glaspie not only picks up a base hit, but he gets a free base in the interim. And now that's 2 runners in scoring position here. So Elijah Cummings at bat with a very frustrated Dan Haverstick. Standing in front of the dugout there. I mean, that is a passionate coach. And sometimes with passion comes anger in a situation like this where, you know, you sometimes get flashbacks to that first round of the playoffs last year. I mean, I'm sure that for a lot of the RV players on the field, that memory is burned into their mind with ACIT, a team that only won, I think it was 6 or 7 regular season games. RV in that loss as a 1 seed committed 10 errors and lost to the 16 seed ACIT Redhawks. And even then, ACIT had a good second round game versus Washington Township. I mean, that South Jersey Group 4 bracket was so weird. Eastern was one of the best teams that you could imagine, but yet Eastern won as a 5 seed. And who did they play in the sectional final? A 7 seed, Egg Harbor Township. That South Jersey Group 4 bracket last year was just so unorthodox and weird. Upstairs, 1 and 2. To Cummings, the 9-hitter and shortstop. Left fielder Seepers is next. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. For Chase Logue, the freshman in his second start. Time was called. There's been a couple of those today where Logue has gotten time called against him in the middle of his delivery. I'm sure he doesn't take too kindly to that. The 1-2 with 2 runners in scoring position. Ground ball out to third. Picked up by Young. Throw across is in time, and they hang on to it for out number 2. Top of the order here. As everyone in the infield says in unison, top of the order. Seepers flew out to left in his first at-bat. He walked and came around to score in the 4th. And I think the biggest objective here is to get Seepers out, if you're RV, to prevent Luke Pokrovsky, who has done a handful of damage already, from getting up to the plate. That one's hit well out to right center. It's got some distance to it. Alvarez backpedaling. It's over his head. Couldn't get that one. So that will be a 2-run double. Evan Seepers trots into second base in style, and it's 4-0 Cougars as they add on 2 more off of the freshman right-hander Logue. And kind of a worst-case scenario for the Red Devils has popped up here with Pokrovsky batting, 2 runs across, and now Haverstick will come out and talk to his man. Scoring Whitley and Glassby. I mean, it's not that Logue hasn't done well. I think that both teams have barreled up the ball considerably in this game. And Schalick has hit the ball very well. I mean, there's a difference between bad pitching and good hitting, and in this case, it's been good hitting. Schalick has definitely surprised Rancocas Valley, but again, a very good Group 1 against a Group 4 that's looking for a little bit extra footing after back-to-back losses in Olympic play, losing 11-1 in back-to-back games to Morristown and Cherokee. That's not a good feeling, and you don't want to replicate that. But down 4-0 at home on the first day of spring break for many of these high schools. Haverstick, after a lengthy conversation, leaves the mound, leaves Logue in the game. And now the main task is Luke Pokrovsky. 2 outs, runner in scoring position. He took them deep in the first. Feels like home runs are way up this year. We've already called like a good 7 or 8, and Haddon Heights and Pennsville alone has had 4 home runs in the first 5 innings. I don't know if this year has just been windier than usual or if it's just been the players have been getting better and better. I don't know. Here's the 1-0 from Logue to Pokrovsky. Check swing. Are they going to appeal? Appeal says no. And it's 2-0. Pokrovsky, 1 for 2, home run in the first, fly out to left in the third. Committed to Penn, the 1 Division I commit on this program. Time called. That was Pokrovski's second homer of the year, his 14th in his career. He homered versus Glassboro, had 2 as a freshman, 4 as a sophomore, and 6 as a junior. So he is not afraid to swing the bat. He's batting .588 with a slugging percentage of 1.118. And they are going to intentionally walk Luke Pokrovski. That's the first one I've seen this year. I don't think I've seen any intentional walks. But with second base unoccupied, or with second base occupied, first base free, down by 4, I mean, that's a healthy sacrifice to make. If you get Watt out, who's 2 for 2, double and a single, I mean, this is a high ceiling, low floor situation here. Ground ball on the first pitch, a high tapper. They'll go to second. That throw is wide. Runner is safe. They caught the runner napping. He's going to the plate. The throw gets away from Harrison. This will go back home. Heading to third is Pokrovski, who got intentionally walked. Down to second with nobody there is Watt. And it's 5-0. Schalick with 2 more runners moving over. Wow. The throw went wide. That's a play and a half right there. And that's one of those plays for RV that is going to be a hard pill to swallow as Adams picks up an error. There were actually 2 errors on that play, an E6 on the throw to second and an E4 on the throw home from Gomez, and the run scored. So Schalick 5, RV 0, and 2 more runners on. There's a strike called. Strike called. 1 ball, 2 strikes. One ball, 2 strikes versus the sophomore catcher Watt. 1-2. Strike 3. There's another punch out. An enthusiastic one at that, and the inning's over. We go to the bottom half of the 4th. Schalick adds on another few runs as a 2-run double by Seepers and then a couple of errors in the infield sink RV a little bit further. They got to get the bats going here in the bottom of the 4th. 5-0 Cougars. Bottom of the fourth. This broadcast is brought to you by our good friends over at Garden State Pet Center. Keep your pet happy and healthy today with the most organic food products available in South Jersey, along with toys, cages, accessories, and much, much more. Visit 226 South White Horse Pike in Audubon. They're open 7 days a week for your best treatment. Carter Klezix leads us off in the bottom half of the fourth inning. Schalick 5, RV 0. D'Agostino still working, got a strike there. Down the left field line, it's foul. Schalick brought 8 men to the plate in the top half of the fourth. The only one that didn't bat was the pitcher, D'Agostino. Another pop-up, out of play. Still 2-2. So it'll be 5, 6, and 7 for Schalick in the top half of the fifth. We do have to get through the fourth first, though. That one's laced into center field. There's a base hit. So maybe some of Dan Haverstick's mid-inning speech might fire these guys up. So Whittall with a base hit, and now it's Klezix. Whittall, Klezix, and Young. 3, 4, and 5, meat of the order. I mean, I'm not going to repeat what Haverstick said, but he was very fired up. And let's just say not in a positive way. I mean, you know, listen, he is very passionate about his guys, but he understands the situation that he's in. He and his team are running through a couple of rough patches in the Olympic with Morristown and Cherokee, and they want to get the momentum up. And this game seemed like to RV a game where they can get their momentum back up. Outside, 1-1 to Klezix. So to kind of be hit by a freight train and be down by 5 in the bottom of the fourth inning, they just got to get the bats going. And also, I mean, listen, I praised them for their defense versus Cherry Hill East. That defense just hasn't been there today. And that can change from game to game. But if Rancocas Valley can make up for their losses in defense with the bats, and if they can force D'Agostino into trouble, I don't see any reason why RV can't win this game still. Two balls, one strike. D'Agostino working from the stretch, floated out towards left field. This one is caught by Seepers. Out number 1. As now it'll be Young. Young struck out swinging his first time. What up, Young? Where can they be here? RV, no runs, 2 hits, and, well, 3 errors in the field. First pitch, curveball, strike called. Schalick to their name today. 5-0 lead, another throw over to first. Schalick with 5 runs on 6 hits. 1 error in the field of play. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Runner on first after a leadoff single by Whittall. But the count is quickly 0-2 to Young after Klezix flew out to left. Adams, the shortstop, is next. 0-2 is a swing and a miss. That is strikeout number 4 for D'Agostino. That's the second out of the fourth. So here's Henry Adams. He'll be followed in the order by Joseph Sprague, the left-hander. Strike called. I think the best philosophy here for RV is to take things slowly and just get DiAgostino under pressure one thing at a time. You don't need to do what Prokrovsky did and hit a homer. Just need a couple of good hits and maybe some. I mean, I can vouch for plate discipline, but at the same time, I mean, DiAgostino's just been throwing strikes. It's hard to have good plate discipline when he has been very commanding in his at-bats. I think over 70% of his at-bats have started with a first pitch strike. Check swing, say he went, 1-2. Regardless of whether he went or not, it looks like it was in the zone. And the count is 1-2. DiAgostino working hard. He's got 3 2/3 of the shutout variety. And he's got another 5 strikeouts for DiAgostino, and the inning is over. RV leaves the runner on, and we are still at a 5-0 game going to the 5th inning as Schalick looks to add on some more to their offensive parade today. Here from East Hampton, Dan Haverstick having a conversation with the home plate umpire. There was a pitcher that came in from the bullpen after a brief session. And that was number 18, Blake Sansoni, the senior, who was warming up. So I think they do want to keep Logue out there for as long as they can, especially if he has a rebound here in the 5th. But his first challenge will be his other pitcher in the scorecard, Tyler DiAgostino, 1-0. Schalick again coming into this game 5-0. 4 of their wins have been via mercy rule. The one that wasn't with a 3-2 win over Overbrook. Hit well out towards center field, straight away. Bartletta, the Rowan commit, is there, and he makes the catch. Out number 1. Now here is Joseph Tyler Whitley. He's 1 for 2 with a single. This broadcast is brought to you by the Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators, or DOG Pro Wrestling, New Jersey's top premier pro wrestling organization with high-flying events and nonstop entertainment throughout the state. In fact, they were just at WrestleMania, Rowan After Hours WrestleMania at the Chamberlain Center. Got to see some of that event, and it was very, very good. Had some very passionate folks watching that. They knew some of the wrestlers' entrances. It was, they've got a very passionate fan base. But for future events and more information, visit dawgprowrestling.com. That event ran until 1 a.m. last night in Rowan After Hours at the new Student Center. I only stayed until, well, I was at the concert, but I only stayed until about 11 o'clock. And I had to go home and wake up bright and early to see some Schalick and RV baseball. There's a ground ball. Stays on the ground, fielded at the chest. Sidearm throw is in time to Klezik's, out number 2. Again, sometimes those fundamentals can be a good refresher. After 8 batters came to the plate in the 4th inning, what RV needs is a breather. They need a shutdown inning. No runs, no hits, no base runners, just pure, clean baseball. And then sometimes, even with that, it seems so subtle, but then that can spark you know, kind of a comeback or a revolution, if you will, in this RV lineup. These two teams have no prior history against each other. Rancocas Valley did have Jeff Singer on their staff. I'm not sure if he's still around because he was there last year, former Phillies right-hander, or at least in the Phillies organization. He's what they called a phantom ball player, as in he got called up to the major leagues, but during his career did not play a game. That one's high. Kind of like Adam Greenberg, if you will. I mean, having a former major leaguer as a pitching coach can definitely be a big boost coming from that corner of the world, that corner of the baseball world. 2-1. Of course, John Oler, the West Deptford coach, was Justin Verlander's personal catcher at Old Dominion before Verlander became a superstar in 2005 with the Tigers. Strike called on the inside part of the plate, 2-2. Coach O'Brien giving signs at third. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. A fly out to center and a ground out to short. The pitch to Fleming is floated out towards left. This will be over the head and out of the glove. That'll be a base hit, though. Going down to second and sliding in, or standing up safely, will be Jabari Fleming. And that will be Evan Glaspie now. In all reality, that's the left fielder's ball. In 99% of situations, unless he didn't see it, which I don't know if he did or not, I mean, I just don't think that Adams is the responsible player there. So it's going to go down in my book as a double, might not in other books. But, I mean, that's just the kind of situation where you need to – I think that I didn't hear any communication out there. Again, we're pretty far away, so I'm not surprised that there wasn't any communication, but or at least any that we could hear. Count is 1-0 to Glaspie. Runner on second here for Schalick. They lead 5-0. Got 8 men to the plate in the fourth. As Logue, the freshman, looks back, and time is called again. We've seen some umpires this year that have refused to grant time in situations like that, where the pitcher is, once the pitcher's already in his delivery or once he's set, then they refuse to call time or refuse to grant it. Popped up, I don't see it, it's somewhere. And it's 1-1. One ball, one strike. 1 ball, 1 strike, and the pitch. Laced, right field side. It is diving under the glove of the right fielder. It gets down. That will get another run home for Schalick. It'll be a double. Now the runner's on his horse. He's going to third. That throw is not in time. RBI triple out of the number 8 hitter, Evan Glaspie. And make that a half dozen for Schalick. They lead 6-0. Glaspie with his 3rd hit of the day. Something that I noticed, I think they swapped Alvarez and Sprague because Sprague is now in right field. I noticed that on that play. Can't see exactly. That might be Alvarez out there in left. We'll see once they go back to the dugout at the end of the inning, but either way, a defensive change for RV in the midst of an odd ball game. Schalick now with their 8th hit of the game. Back-to-back extra base hits. They've had 4 of them today, including a home run in the first by Luke Pokrovsky. As on a beautiful sunny Friday morning / afternoon now. '67 degrees and mostly sunny. By the time we get to Rutgers-Camden, it'll be up to 71. And then tomorrow is going to be a 78-degree day. 1-0. Pulls back and gets the strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Runner on third after the triple by Glassby. Popped up. Straightaway center field. Going out for it is Bartletta. He calls for it and makes the catch. Side retired. Schalick gets another run on an RBI triple off the bat of Evan Glassby as they get back-to-back hits, but relatively speaking, the damage is relatively limited. We go to the bottom of the 5th, 6 in favor of Schalick and 0 for Rancocas Valley.
In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
Bottom of the 5th. Schalick 6, RV 0. It's been a very weird game. I mean, Schalick has just been consistently good on offense, and, well, they've been very surprising. And you'd say, well, Dan, they're a 5-0 team. Why would that be surprising? Well, just, you think about who they've played, as there's a base hit in the left. That will get down. And a leadoff knock for RV off the bat of the new right fielder, Sprague. He's got his first hit of the day. Here's Dom Gomez now. First pitch misses. Up and in. Two and one is the count. Popped up, right field side, heading over his hats, and it's out of play. Sprague on first. Gomez at the dish. Count is 2-2. He's 0 for 1 with a ground out to third. As RV's dug out, trying to get into it. Popped up, foul over our heads. Yeah, baseball is really the only sport that we cover where we are in an active splash zone, as I like to call it. It's never going to be a football that gets thrown into the press box. And usually a basketball doesn't, go up to the 20th row of the grandstand, so. Right in the middle of the action. There's a ground ball. Oh, good deke there. They're not going to get the out at second. The throw is wide at first. He stepped off the bag. Well, how about that for some lucky strikes, as that could have been a double play, but because of the hit and run, the shortstop Cummings was forced to glide to the left. Gomez hit it perfectly so that he had to redirect and cut to the right. The runner was safe at second, and then a misguided throw to first gets everybody on. That'll be an E6. Second error of the day for Schalick. And here's Malcolm Harrison, the 9-hitter. Good opportunity for the bottom of the order here. 2 on, nobody out. Good chance to get Schalick on their toes. Because one of the best things RV can do is apply pressure. And I mean that in the sense that Rancocas Valley hasn't really given Schalick a reason to be frightened. And if they can do that, get the bases loaded for Jake Bartletta, that'll get some sweat glands rolling. Check swing, called a strike, 2-1. Don't forget, we'll be at Rutgers Camden later today. We'll be making the trip from East Hampton down to Camden for an NJAC matchup between the Stockton Ospreys and the Rutgers Camden Scarlet Raptors. 2 balls, 1 strike. And the pitch. Hit well out to center. That is caught. A beautiful play in center. Runner will tag for third. It'll hold up there. As the pinch hitter for Harrison. Yeah, didn't even make the notice that was Austin Wright hitting for Harrison. So here is JB, Jake Bartletta. A single, an E6, and now a fly out to center. Mark the first out of the inning. Runners on the corners. And Bartletta slams it foul onto the reserve baseball field here at the Rancocas Valley Complex. I mean, this really is one of the biggest sports complexes I've seen. There's a lacrosse field way back there, like a half mile down the road. There's softball fields behind us. JV is right behind us for baseball. Bartletta gets a little bit jammed, but the ball's out to center field. It is caught by Seepers, and RV has a run. Scoring from third is Sprague, and a 1-out sacrifice fly gives Rancocas Valley a little bit of life at 6-1. So scoring was Sprague. Gomez still at first base, but 2 outs now in a little bit of a favorable position for Jalen Alvarez. Strike called. No, not Alvarez, excuse me. That was a pinch hitter, Avery Ash. So that was who was in left field, Avery Ash. They put Ash in left and then moved Sprague to right. Didn't hear that substitution right away. Might have been doing something else, but count is 0-2 very quickly to Ash, though, with Gomez on first. And the pitch. Ash gets a piece of it. It's foul. No balls, 2 strikes. Ash looking to stay alive here with 2 outs and 1 on. 6-1 game, and he got him. How about that for D'Artanio, the right-hander for Schalick, picks up his 6th strikeout of the night. But Schalick does get a run back on a, RV gets a run back on a sacrifice fly to center field. We go to the 6th here in East Hampton. Schalick 6, RV 1. for Rancocas Valley is number 18, Blake Sansoni. The senior right-hander in 5 innings has allowed 6 earned runs, 5 walks, and 4 strikeouts. He's appeared in 2 games this year. This is his first non-conference game. Appeared in the opening game versus Eastern and also versus Lenape just a couple of days ago. Count is 1-0. As it'll be Seepers, Prokofsky, and Watt. Maybe the most menacing part of the Schalick order to date. And the count is 1-0. Lined out to left. That will get down for a base hit. And now here's Prokofsky. Second hit of the day for Seepers. And RV will send another pitcher out to the bullpen in right. That is number 25, Matt Garino. Surprised they would use him in a bullpen setting. Ground ball off the pit. No, it didn't hit the pitcher's glove, but it's bobbled. Throw to first is not in time. No, they did not get the out. Didn't see the call originally, but now 2 runners will be on as Prokofsky reaches on what's going to be an E4. Individually, the infield errors are keeping the pitcher's ERAs down, but that doesn't matter in a team setting. And Haverstick will come out and talk to his mound and to the infield as Gomez picks up an E4, his second of the day. I don't know, this just, again, RV is playing at 110%, but it's fundamental mistakes that are hurting them against a very good Schalick team. So he's talking to the right-hander Sansoni. Had a handful of innings last year, 5 innings across 2 appearances this year, as we said, versus Eastern and Lenape. The batter will be Watt, who has reached base every time today. A double, a single, and then reached on an error in that little hiccup in the 4th. So Ricky Watt, sophomore catcher, batting .357 on the young season. 5 for 14, .429 slugging. Had 1 home run as a freshman, batted .435 as a freshman. Heck, might be the next star to come out of Schalick, just like Prokofsky before him. But I've been very impressed by Schalick this year. I mean, they are talented top to bottom in the order. They have talented pitching. They throw hard. They play hard. They're passionate. They don't have a lot of reserves. As a Group 1 school, they are a very small Group 1 school. Their enrollment is under 500 students from grades 9 to 12. There's a swing and a miss. And even I find that small, and I went to Audubon, a school that only has 800, and my graduating class was 124. I mean, the thing about Group 1 is that you go from decently small to the tiniest of high schools, like Wildwood and Buna, and of course Schalick. Haverstick wanted to appeal. Told Harrison to appeal, he did, and they said no. 1-1 is the count. Watt dealing with 2 runners on. Prokofsky on first, Seepers on second. 1-1 is the count. Hot shot to third, picked up by Young. They'll go to second. Gomez gets the out, and they got a double play. Around the horn that time, 5-4-3, a little more rejuvenation in the defense. Seepers does go to third. And that's a double play. That is what RV needed. They needed something like that to get a little bit of confidence back in their guys. They already scored 1 run in the bottom half of the 5th. Now they can take that double play, turn it around, and say, hey, yeah, we can swing the bats. But Schalick's got to be feeling pretty good about itself. I mean, it's one thing for the fact that all 5 of the teams that they've beaten so far this season are Group 1s, with the exception of Overbrook. They're almost kind of flimsily in the Group 2 camp. But if they win against a Group 4, that will skyrocket their power points. And they're going to get one step closer with an RBI single to center off the bat of Enrico Hatz, 7-1. So they got that run back. Hatz with an RBI single. And now here is D'Agostino. I mean, I have just been very impressed with Schalick. Like we said, 4 of their 5 wins have been over mercy rules, but some of the teams that they've played, again, you know, they're some of the teams towards the bottom of the standings. You know, they beat Clayton by 17, beat Pensgrove, I think, by 16, 17 runs, just because that's the kind of team that Schalick is. They don't give up. I mean, these guys are in the midst of farm country. A lot of opportunities to train out there. A check swing is fouled, 1-1. Little dribbler foul. Should be seeing Schalick this football season. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 outs, and the pitch. That one skips away. Runner is going to be told to hold it first in Hatz as the ball popped out of the glove of Harrison. 2-2. Of course, Schalick had a leadership change at the head coaching position. Mike Wilson left to go to Clearview along with almost his entire assistant staff. But we'll see how that translates with Kenai Simmons graduating. Outside, 3-2. RV working with a full count. Runner on. They've surrendered 1 in this inning with the new right-hander Blake Sansoni. Another righty in Garino could be waiting in the wings for the 7th. Payoff is low. It skips in the dirt. Free pass to the pitcher D'Agostino. And for the first time today, the pitcher reaches after 3 flyouts consecutively. It's Whitley. We're going to have a pinch hitter, though. I'm sorry, a pinch runner. Running for the pitcher D'Agostino will be number 12, Cooper Willoughby, the junior. Willoughby with 8 career stolen bases. Dealing with 2 on. Might not be stealing too many bases with a runner ahead of him in traffic, but RV working with ducks on the pond here in the top of the 6th inning. Already 1 run allowed. Strike is called on the first pitch to Jabari Whitley. Fouled straight back. That landed on top of the netting. That's got to count for something. No balls, 2 strikes. To Jabari Whitley with 2 on. Strike 3, he got him. Gets out of the inning. However, he allows 1 run on an RBI single by the first baseman, Enrico Hatz. RV has 6 outs to work with and 6 runs to replenish. As we go to the bottom half, 7-1, Schalick on top.
Garden State Pet Center is an independently owned full-service pet store. Our specialty is promoting companionship between people and animals by providing the healthiest product choices available, including all-natural foods, supplements that support and relieve health issues, and innovative products for pet parents. Our goal is to provide our customers with a relaxing environment, and while we're not striving to be the biggest store on the East Coast, we're striving to be the best. No other pet store will make you feel at home like we do. At Garden State Pet Center, we view pets as members of the family. We don't believe in fast, high-pressure sales, but instead matching up the right pet with the right owners, as you are making a lifelong commitment. Together with our team members, we would like your visit to our store to be both enjoyable and educational. Simply drop in and take a look around. View the birds, reptiles, small animals, toys, food, cages, and miscellaneous items. Learn of the services we have to offer and decide for yourself if this is the store you'd like to call your home away from home.
Victor Santucci, owner of Garden State Pet Center. Visit us today at 226 South Whitehorse Pike in Audubon, New Jersey. We're open 7 days a week for all of your pets' needs.
Bottom of the 6th inning, we do have a new pitcher for Schalick, as entering the 6th, the batter will be Whittall. High and away. 1-0. Whittall, Klesiks, and Young, 3, 4, and 5. The new pitcher for the Cougars is number 16, Cole Hartley. So they pinch ran with Willoughby at first, and this appears to be a permanent change as he misses inside. Hartley, the junior right-hander, a 2.33 ERA, 8 strikeouts, 6 innings, 2 earned runs, had a 3.94 ERA as a sophomore, and has a 3.54 career total. Strike called. Hartley has appeared in 3 of Schalick's 5 games this year, picked up 2 innings versus Glassboro, 3 scoreless versus Clayton, and 1 inning of mop-up relief work versus Pensgrove. Ground ball out to first, it dives into right field for a base hit. Whittall picks up his 2nd hit, this time pulling it out of the batter's box, and now we've got Carter Klesiks, the first baseman. And I think with Whittall's hit kind of replicating what we thought would happen in the 4th, there's a base hit, left center field. This is going to split the gap. A little bit of indecisiveness at second base forces the runner to hold up at the guidance of Haverstick. Back-to-back singles brings up Young. This is what I thought would happen. When one of those 2 star pitchers gets out of the game, that's where sometimes things can get a little bit tricky. Strike called. Oh, and 2. By the way, final score from the Tri-County and Colonial Clash, Haddon Heights beats Pennsville 9-7 in a game that had 4 total home runs, including one from Chase Birchfield, who had his 100th career hit, the commit to LaSalle. Very excited to see LaSalle pick up their baseball program after 7 or 8 years without one in Philly. Another one fouled back. A 1-2 to Liam Young. Young 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, looking to pick up the pieces here with 2 on. Pittman beat Timber Creek today in a tri-county clash 6-1. Fouled straight back. One ball, 2 strikes to Liam Young. That one's flied out towards straightaway center. And Spears is there for out number 1. So now it's the job of Adams to keep the line moving. Schalick with a win would improve to 6-0 on the season. They play in the first round of the William Rohrer tournament tomorrow versus Cherry Hill West. And I believe they'll be playing 2 games. The winner of that plays either Haddon Township or I think the other team. I'm honestly not sure who else is in the tournament besides Schalick, West, and Township. We'll give you a checkup on that right now. Here's the 0-1. So yeah, it's a 4-team tournament. The other team, actually, is it just, let's see here, it's 0-1 now. I'm honestly not sure if you ask me. One. Up and away, 2-1 to Adams. The chants from the RV dugouts get a little bit louder. 2-on, 2-1. Popped up, right field side. This one's going out towards Hatz at first. He backpedals and makes the catch. Out number 2. So pop out to third makes it the second out for the right fielder, Sprague. That one's high. Strike called. Hartley kicks and delivers. Oh, went right back to the mound. Oh my goodness, Cole Hartley gets lightning in a bottle and the inning is over. Cole Hartley with a rousing ovation from the Schalick bench, and the inning is over. We go to the 7th inning. It is Schalick 7 and RV 1 here in East Hampton. Sansoni still the pitcher for Rancocas Valley as he enters his second inning of relief work. Both starting pitchers went 5. D'Agostino for Schalick struck out 7, gave up 4 hits, and is currently in line for the win. And Chase Logue in just his second career varsity start as a class of 28 freshmen. Had a valiant effort, but most of his runs today will be unearned, as that one will miss. Start the inning to Fleming, Joseph Tyler Fleming. That one's up, out to right, and it drops. Base hit. And a leadoff single for Joseph Tyler Fleming. His second of the day, brings up Evan Glaspie. We are going to see a pinch hitter. Actually, no, excuse me. Once again, I spoke a little too soon there. Glaspie is hitting, running at first for Fleming. Can't tell who that is out there. Looks like number 4. Seven to 1 in the top half of the 7th inning. Stay tuned for the Dan Wilkins Broadcasting postgame show. When this game is over, we'll have an interview with the player of the game presented by the Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators, or the dog of the game. One ball, one strike. And the pitch popped up way over our heads. Look out. And it's 1-2. One, 2. Another one tipped foul. Well, I'll tell you this, JV game's already done. So Schalick will get a little bit of a bolster in their dugout in terms of cheering reinforcement. The count is 1-2. Another one fouled back. That's 3 in a row. That was almost caught by the RV player that was back behind us already, getting the other foul ball. Just getting pelted out there. 1-2. One, 2. Runner goes. Outside, throw to second, not in time. Fleming gets down to second safely. So Fleming, after recording the base hit, gets himself out to second. And Glaspie with 2 strikes and 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Didn't go. 3-2. Whoa, look out. Picked up our camera tripod, and it's ball 4. Gust of wind got the best of us there. Glaspie walks. 2 on now. Schalick today scored 1 in the top half of the first on a home run to right center by Luke Pokrovsky. They went down in order in the second, added on, let's see here, they added on 1 more in the third, and their biggest inning of the day by far and away was the 4th inning. They sent 8 men to the plate and then ended up scoring 4 runs, in part thanks to an RBI double by Evan Seepers, and then also a 2-run, 2-error play in the infield off the bat of Ricky Watt. 1-0 to the 9-hitter Elijah Cummings. Strike called, 1-1. They then added on another in the 5th, and then they added on a 7th run in the 6th. And still nobody out, but 2 runners on for Schalick as they look to add on to their hitting barrage today. Here's the 1-1. That's lined out to center field by the 9-hitter Cummings. It'll drop. Getting the green light from Coach O'Brien at third. They'll get a good throw to the plate. It is not in time. Schalick has to get around the catcher, Harrison, and an RBI single makes it 8-1. As 3 straight base runners reach, all out of the bottom of the order. And even scarier for the Cougars is that they now bring the lineup back up to the top for Seepers. Still runners on first and second here. So Seepers, 2-run double in that penultimate 4th inning. Time is called. Haverstick will come out and talk to the pitcher. Garino was warming up. Matt Garino was warming up, but not sure if this will be the end of his day or if he'll just talk to his man out here, as he's allowed 3 straight base runners out of the 7, 8, and 9 spots. They will take the baseball from him, and Matt Garino indeed will come in as the 3rd pitcher of the day for Rancocas Valley. We'll have a pitching change here on DWB with nobody out and 2 on for Schalick. They've already scored 1. It's 8-1, and we'll be right back.
He's donning the number 34 and the shortstop for this one. First pitch. There's a line drive into center field. That one is going to drop, and it's going to go to the outfield wall. 1 run will score. Spence is going to make a huge arc around third. She will score to make it 3-0, and here comes the runner to score. It's an inside the park home run for Ella Hayes to make it a 4-0 game, a 3-run inside the Parker to the 2. 2 minutes remaining. 4 fouls on St. Joe's. 1 more and it's a bonus, which would greatly help Gloucester Catholic. The moving green guard! It's a 1-point game just like that! This place is going nuts! And now a drive to the basket by Spross. He lays it up and lays it in. St. Joe's has 2 timeouts remaining. Gloucester Catholic still has 3. Here we go. Mascaro pulls up. He goes for 3. 6 points. Jack Mascaro.
Matt Garino, the senior right-hander, is in for Rancocas Valley. He relieves Sansoni, another senior right-hander, of his duties in the top of the 7th. 3 straight have reached. Ooh, strike called there to Seepers. 0-1. A single, a walk, and then an RBI single off the bat of the number 9 hitter Elijah Cummings. Gave Schalick their 8th run of the game. Fouled back. The only run they have not scored in today was the 2nd, when they went down in order with Whitley, Fleming, and Glaspie. But as we said, 1 in the 1st. And then actually, no, they were scoreless in the 3rd as well, but did leave a couple runners on. Oh, no, they did get 1 home. I'm sorry. I was looking at my scorecard wrong. Ground ball, right field, base hit. Another green light from 3rd. This will send Cummings to the plate. And he scores. Glaspie comes in on a bit of a hard slide, and it's 9-1. Back-to-back RBI singles brings up Pokrovsky. 3 for 4 today for Evan Seepers. As Pokrovsky, pretty shockingly, is only 1 for 3. He homered in the first, flew out to left in the third, was intentionally walked in the fourth, and then reached on an error in the sixth, and was then retired on the subsequent double play. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss. Hefty hack there from Garino to Pokrovsky, and it's 1-1. Matt Garino, the right-hander, saw him in fair action last year at 36 1/3 innings. This year, only 1 2/3, which he appeared in his first game of the year on the 15th versus Cherokee. That ball drops out, 2-1. 8.4 ERA for the right-hander in an inning and 2/3. Still a small sample size, but 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Had a 4.24 mark as a junior last year, with 9 walks and 19 Ks for the right-hander. Here's the 2-1. Also low. 3-1. I just think the emotions of this game have been getting to RV as Garino will tie his shoe. As it's 3 balls, 1 strike. A walk would load the bases. Ground ball out to second. This could be 2. Tags the bag, and he's got 2. 4-6-3. And instead of the bases loaded, they now move the runner to third and get 2 out. Second double play turned by the Red Devils infield today. So Glassby scored. Cummings now to third. Fleming and Glassby have been the 2 runs to score here in the 7th. They've scored in every inning since the 4th. 4 in the 4th. So like we said, one in the first and third, 4 in the 4th, another one in the 5th, another one in the 6th, and now they've added on 2 for a little bit of extra insurance in the 7th. 2 balls, no strikes quickly to Ricky Watt. As we said, that Schalick dugout just got a little bit livelier with the JV folks coming in after their game concluded. Count is 3-0. Some encouragement from the RV dugout. 3 balls, no strikes. And the pitch. That's laced. Left center field. It's going to get down in front of Avery Ash. That'll make it double digits for Schalick as an RBI single off the bat of Ricky Watt makes it 10-1 Cougars. That's the 3rd hit of the day for Ricky Watt. He can make that 10-1. Schalick has put up 14 hits. As a little dribbler out to Gomez will retire the side. Last swings for RV here in their home Friday matchup as they trail by 9 runs to Schalick, 10-1. Well, we've been waiting to see this guy on the hill, and now we finally do get to see him. O'Brien gives Luke Pokrovsky the green light. 11 scoreless innings as a senior at a 1.09 ERA as a junior in 57 2/3 innings. The left-hander who goes up to 90 is committed to Penn for the 2026 season over in the Ivy League. And we'll get to see him attempt to close out this game and keep his scoreless inning streak going. Like we said, 11 scoreless for him this year across 5 Schalick games. He has appeared in just 2, and this is his first relief appearance. A big swing and a miss there as RV will have to make a velocity adjustment with Gomez. 8-9-1. You could just hear the pop of the glove. You can hear that big velocity change from Hartley to Pokrovsky. Got a piece of it down the third base line. This will stay fair. It hits Pokrovsky's glove, and it'll be an infield single for Dom Gomez. I mean, again, it is very hard to adjust to when you're, 80 and 90 don't sound that different to the casual, but you're watching a guy throw low 90s versus somebody who threw low 80s. It's like night and day. So now these guys have to adjust, and now they'll have less time to swing. That one's up and in. The batter is Scotty Owens. 3 batters have occupied the 9 spot today. Malcolm Harrison, Austin Wright, and now Owens, as that one's high. 2-0. In 2 games this year, Pokrovsky threw 5 versus Woodstown in a shutout. In fact, in a no-hitter over 5 innings. That was only the 5th hit he's allowed all season, as he threw 6 versus Overbrook. 25 strikeouts. He has 282 career strikeouts. It's incredible. 122 as a junior alone, 64 as a sophomore, 71 as a freshman. I mean, that is the most amount of strikeouts I have ever seen from a South Jersey pitcher, as he allows a walk to Owens. Wonder if O'Brien's O'Brien's not gonna come out to talk to him, but his catcher will. And we go back to the top of the order for Bartletta. Well, you never know. I'm a little bit surprised that they did put him in, if I say so myself, maybe just to get him more reps, or put him in a relief role, but 2 on here, and things are looking a little bit ho-hum here. We'll see how they can get it down. First pitch, Bartletta laces it out to right center field. That's going to drop, and it will load the bases. So Pokrovsky, who has thrown 11 scoreless innings in the blink of an eye, now finds himself with a little taste of adversity, as Avery Ash is the batter. Ash pinch hit for the sophomore Jalen Alvarez earlier in the ball game. First pitch is a strike. Ash 0 for 1 with a strikeout. The lefty Connor Whittall is next. That would be a good lefty-lefty matchup, as this one is launched out to left but foul into the Burlington County wilderness. Quickly 0-2. There were a few positional changes, but nothing too much of note, as Pokrovsky moved from center field to the mound. So I think what it was is that they I think they just made a 1-for-1 switch, because I think Hartley's in center field. That one's high, 1-2. By the way, a scoring correction from the top of the 7th inning. That was a base hit by the pitcher Cole Hartley, and then Joseph Tyler Fleming, who was hit for by Hartley, took over as a pinch runner. Swing and a miss. Out number 1, as the number 2 slot is struck out 3 times today. Here's Connor Whittall. Seven total strikeouts for the Schalick staff today. Whittall misses high. 1-0. Don't forget our next broadcast, 3:30 p.m. this afternoon between Stockton and Rutgers Camden. over at the Rutgers Athletic Complex. 1-0. Lifted out towards left field. This one could stay fair. It's going to slice, and it'll go foul. Count is 1-1 to Whittall. Whittall's definitely been good at slicing balls the other way today. He's hit a few. His first base hit was the other way, back out towards left center. As with the wind picking up, a couple of players have lost their ball caps. Jabari Fleming included. This one's hit out towards left center field. Sliding, he comes in with the catch. How about it for Seepers? And that's out number 2. Schalick's defense is just, they've been that guy today. Only one error actually 2 errors in the field, but I mean, RV has just had a really bad stroke of luck. And defense definitely, if the final score holds, will have cost them this game. First pitch to Klezix, it's outside, 1-0. Klezix 1 for 2, 1 for 3 rather. An error, a flyout, and then a single in the 6th inning. In an inning where RV brought 6 men to the plate. Strike called. And this is batter number 6 of the 7th inning, so even with only 1 run on the board, they did plate one in the 5th on a sacrifice fly by Bartletta. 1-1 is high. It's going to get to the plate, and a run will score. Everybody moves up. RV's got a run, and that will be for the first earned run this season by Luke Pokrovsky, 10-2. So that snaps a streak of 11 2/3 scoreless from the left-hander who will be a Quaker in next year around this time. Owens moves to 3rd. Bartletta now at 2nd. First base unoccupied, and the 2-1 is hit out towards left. That is going to get down. So if the wild pitch wasn't an earned run, that one will, and it is 10-3. Bartletta to 3rd. Owens scores. RBI single Carter Klezix. And now here is Liam Young. RV with a loss would fall to 4-5 on the season. With Young, who's 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. RV plays Haddonfield at home tomorrow. And on the road at Kingsway, a drone just flew over the field. We heard the buzzing sound. The second base umpire came in. I think that they realized they were going over the field and then turned around. I mean, you heard that through the microphone. I heard that in the headset. I thought we had a swarm of bees, but it was a drone. It's 2-0. We had that problem earlier this year at a Delran football game. Might have been 23. It was a game between Willingboro and Delran where the referees, there was a drone. It was permitted for use by Delran, or by Willingboro rather, but the referees were still confused and we were in a delay because nobody told the referees that Willingboro was permitted to use the drone. 2 balls, 1 strike to Liam Young. Strike called that time. RV down to their last strike. They've got a couple of tough out-of-conference matchups in the next 3 games over spring break with Haddonfield, Kingsway, and Group 4 state champion Bridgewater Raritan. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and the pitch. Outside. Runners on the corners. Klezix is on first. Bartletta on 3rd. Wouldn't be surprised if Klezix gets going here on the pitch. Pokrovsky looking for a good impact before going to the Quakers. That one's ball 4. And the ball game stays alive for Adams. Quick visit here with O'Brien, with Pokrovsky. They're actually going to, Oh, hold on. They were going to take him out of the game, but now, I mean, they took the baseball from him. Now he's going to go back to the dugout. They're figuring something out here. Very surprised. Pokrovsky only goes 2/3 of an inning as RV gives him his first earned runs of the season. If there's any silver lining in today's game, hitting well off of a Division I lefty, one of the best lefties in the state. All right, so what they're going to do here before we go to break, the new pitcher is the right-hander number 6.
22 for 13. It's an injury, so he gets as many as he needs.
Oh, okay. So you just heard that there from the home plate umpire thanks to our field mic. Pokrovsky is out due to an injury, not a normal pitching change. So therefore, the new pitcher, who is, I mean, I didn't see anybody warming up, and it did feel very out of character. Evan Glaspie moves from second base to the hill. Pokrovsky is removed from the game, and by rule, he will get as many warm-up pitches as he needs. So he might be here for a little bit, and we'll be right back. Bottom of the 7th, Schalick 10, RV 3. RV was down to their last swings, but now they have some life in their bats. Bases are loaded. It's 10-3 with Henry Adams at the plate. The new pitcher is Evan Glaspie. As the first pitch is floated down the right field line, it'll go foul. Out of play towards the bleachers down there. Pokrovsky, if you just missed it, exited the game with an injury. He faced a couple of batters, ran into some trouble, and then they took him out. Maybe had something, I mean, I'm not going to speculate, but could have had something going on there. There's a ground ball. Out to second, though, and this should do it. Throw to first is a bit low, but it's in time. And how about that for Schalick? A huge win on the road against a Group 4 powerhouse like Rancocas Valley. And the Cougars travel over an hour and 15 minutes into town, and they exit with a 10-3 victory. Your player of the game, presented by the Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators, is Evan Seepers. The left fielder didn't get the scoring started, but he did get Schalick into a comfortable lead with a 2-run double in the 4th, in addition to 3 total hits and 3 RBIs. Schalick improves to 6-0 on the campaign, and, well, they're one of the few undefeated teams left, and they are going to get a big boost in their power points. RV falls to 4-5 going into their non-conference game with Haddonfield tomorrow. We'll be right back for our Dan Wilkins Broadcasting post-game interview with Evan Seepers right after this. Our player of the game, presented by the Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators, or our dog of the game, is Evan Seepers, the left fielder for Schalick today. A big win for the Cougars. Group 1 versus Group 4, they came in and shined. A 10-3 final. Evan, you went 3 for 5. How'd you feel out there today?
I felt great at the plate. I really felt like it was a good day swinging the bat.
Well,
And,
I mean, yeah, Schalick. Go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, the whole team put the bat to the ball, and it's really good for a team win.
14 total hits, 10 runs. You guys just didn't stop. And it wasn't like you had Pokrovsky starting either. D'Agostino had a great job on the hill, 7 strikeouts across 5 innings. But for you, you didn't get the first run of the game, but you got one of the most important ones, a 2-run double in the top half of the 4th as a part of that 4-run 4th inning. Going into this game, it's always difficult traveling. I assume you guys traveled like over an hour to get here.
Yeah.
If it was 40 minutes for me, it had to be longer for you guys. But getting to RV, that long bus ride early in the morning, coming out with the win, it's not easy. Going into this game, what was your mindset or maybe how your team felt about this game?
We all just felt like we had to lock in and really be able to swing the bat, play defense good, and we executed well today.
Absolutely. Just 2 errors in the field compared to RV's 5. Sometimes it's about the fundamentals that wins you the game. But Schalick is off to an amazing start this year, 6-0. 4 of your 6 wins have been via mercy rule. Do you feel like the team is rolling? Do you feel like the team has good chemistry and good energy all around?
Yeah, we're really playing great team baseball this year, and rolling through teams isn't easy, but we're doing it.
There you go. And I mean, listen, Glassboro and Woodstown earlier in the season, they know what it's like to be beaten by Schalick, and now RV can add their name into the list. So one more question for you. Schalick's kind of all alone in South Jersey. You guys have to travel a long way to get to, almost any ballpark here. So traveling this far distance, getting up to RV bright and early, because I had to wake up at 7:30 to get here today. So I know it wasn't too pleasant for the players, but you guys are 6-0. You're the leadoff man of this team. It's a very important role in addition to what everybody behind you in the order does. This is a very well-rounded team. How do you feel about Schalick going forward and what they can accomplish?
I feel like we're just going to have to play well, keep playing well. We have good games coming up. We play Cherry Hill West tomorrow.
That's a big one.
That is a big one.
That is a huge one.
Yeah.
That'll be your biggest test yet. Evan, thank you very much. We're going to do a little DWB tradition. We're going to have you sign anywhere on the bottom of the scorecard. Make it nice and big for the fans at home. I think we had over 60 or 70 watching today, so we had a lot of folks tuning in. As Evan Seepers, your player of the game, 3 for 5, 3 RBIs. Yes, I know it's silly. It's just something that I do. Thank you very much, Evan. Have a good bus ride home, and stay safe out there. All right, so that will be Evan. That will conclude our first broadcast of the day. Yes, we have 2. We'll be headed down to Rutgers Camden at 3:30, or for a 3:30 start in NJAC play between the Stockton Ospreys and the Rutgers Camden Scarlet Raptors. From our entire crew here at DWB, our social media coordinator, Haley Mejia, our graphics crew, Gavin Van Rel, Caleb Lane, and Liam Nolan, my producer, Damian Waiters. I'm Dan Wilkins. We'll see you in 2 hours over in Camden. So we're going to pack up our stuff, make our way down 295, and make our way to Camden. Have a good one, folks.